Risk is inherent in every initiative, project, or strategic move, whether you're launching a new product, entering a new market, or implementing transformative technology. The uncertainty that comes with these ventures requires careful planning and management. Primary goal of risk management and the direction we should always be moving towards is to navigate this uncertainty effectively, identifying, assessing, and addressing risks before they become obstacles or missed opportunities. Leaders and teams should consider critical principles to build a robust risk management process. These guiding principles help shape decision making, streamline assessments, and ensure alignment with organizational goals. Before diving into risk management, it's critical to understand the attitudes and risk appetites of the organization and key stakeholders. Every person involved in an initiative has a unique tolerance for risk. Some may be highly risk averse, seeking to minimize exposure at all costs. In contrast, others may have a more adventurous mindset and be willing to take significant risks for the potential of greater rewards. Understanding these varying perspectives will influence how risks are identified, evaluated, and responded to. It helps to establish common ground early on, knowing when to be conservative and when to make bold moves. Foundation of understanding is crucial for decision making throughout the risk management process. Here's an actionable tip. Discuss with stakeholders to map their risk tolerance levels and document their insights. This can help align risk management activities with overall goals and expectations, keeping your focus sharp and your efforts targeted. When it comes to assessing risk, diversity is your best friend. No individual has all the knowledge or perspective needed to identify every possible threat or opportunity. Collaborative risk assessment is not just a good idea, it's a necessity. It ensures you draw on various experiences, expertise, and viewpoints, leading to a comprehensive understanding of potential threats and opportunities. By assembling a team that includes members from different departments, you can tap into a broader range of knowledge and uncover risks that might otherwise be overlooked. Each person brings a unique technical, operational, financial, or customer related perspective, leading to a more comprehensive understanding of potential risks. And here's another actionable tip. Create cross-functional teams for risk assessments. Include representatives from different business areas like finance, operations, technology, and customer service to ensure diverse input. It's impossible to identify and mitigate every risk that could potentially arise. Instead, focus on identifying the highest priority risks, those that are the most likely to occur and have the greatest potential impact on your initiative. Concentrate your resources on these risks to ensure that you're addressing the most critical threats to success. Developing a prioritization process like a risk matrix helps ensure that the most significant risks get the attention they deserve. By categorizing risks into different levels of urgency, you can allocate resources where they're needed most. And another actionable tip, use a risk matrix to map out each risk by its likelihood and impact, and focus efforts on the top tier risks. Ensure continuous monitoring of them as their priority may shift over time. Because it's impossible to identify all uncertainty, risk assessments should not be open-ended. If not managed carefully, risk assessments can spiral into lengthy, resource-intensive exercises, delaying decision-making and action. To avoid this, allocate a fixed amount of time for risk assessment, an approach known as time boxing. Time boxing ensures the risk management process remains efficient and scalable, focusing on the essentials without wasting resources. By setting a deadline, you force teams to zero in on the most critical risks within a limited window, ensuring that the process is proportionate to the size and complexity of your project or other initiative. As an actionable tip, based on the initiative's complexity and scope, set a time limit for risk assessment activities. Once the time box is over, proceed with the available insights and move into the execution phase. No matter how thorough your risk assessment is, there will always be unknown factors. Some risks that were not identifiable at the start of the initiative's execution will emerge during that time. This is not a failure of risk management. It's a reality of operating in dynamic environments. The key is to have a flexible approach that allows for the identification and documentation of these emerging risks as the project progresses. Organizations that realize this uncertainty and are agile enough to respond are better equipped to handle unexpected challenges or seize unforeseen opportunities. So, as your actionable tip, implement periodic risk reviews throughout the initiative. Encourage team members to actively record and communicate new risks as they arise, adjusting your risk management plan accordingly. Human bias is inevitable. Psychologists have identified over 100 cognitive biases that affect decision making, including risk aversion, optimism bias, and confirmation bias. These biases can skew how risks are perceived and managed, potentially leading to either overconfidence or undue caution. The best way to mitigate bias is through teamwork and structured processes involving a diverse group of people in risk assessment helps balance individual biases. Strong facilitation is also essential to keep discussions objective and focused on facts rather than emotions or personal preferences. As an actionable tip, train risk assessment teams on common cognitive biases. Encourage facilitators to ask open-ended questions that challenge assumptions and consider multiple perspectives. When responding to risks, it's crucial to align your responses with the organization's overall strategy and the specific goals of the initiative. For example, if a risk has been deemed acceptable, allocating significant resources to mitigate it is counterproductive. Instead, focus on risks that require action and ensure that the response is proportionate to the threat. Moreover, any risk response should support the initiative's long-term objectives. If the response to a particular risk could derail all the initiative's goals, it may not be the best course of action. Responses should be carefully calibrated to ensure they don't conflict with the bigger picture. So, as your actionable tip, regularly review risk response strategies to ensure they align with the project's goals and the organization's broader objectives. Avoid overreacting to minor risks that have little impact on the initiative's long-term success. Risk management isn't a one and done activity. Risks change as projects evolve, New information becomes available and external factors shift. Repeated risk management activities at reasonable interviews, like having risk reviews, audits, or updates, ensure that your organization remains proactive in addressing new risks as they emerge. This principle ties closely to agility, being prepared to shift strategies and tactics as new risks surface. Organizations that thrive in uncertain environments view risk management as an integral part of day-to-day operations rather than a box to check at the start of a project. And as your actionable tip, incorporate risk management into regular project review cycles. Keep risk logs up to date and revisit mitigation plans periodically to reflect any changes in the risk landscape. Navigating uncertainty is a fundamental challenge for any organization, but adhering to these 8 principles can build a more resilient, adaptable approach to risk management, from understanding stakeholder attitudes to mitigating cognitive biases and aligning responses with strategy. Each principle offers a practical way to manage risk more effectively. By prioritizing and reassessing risks on an ongoing basis, your organization will be well positioned to address known and unknown threats, turning risks into opportunities for growth and innovation. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you're getting value from this content, please like, share, and consider subscribing so that more people can get our message. Take care, and I'll see you soon with another tip.